without knowing the regulations and stuff of why. So in Apalachicola, that's where most of the oysters come from that we consume, versus east of there. I know there is some harvesting, but why do you get more from Apalachicola versus intertidal oyster reefs? And so it could be just a production thing. Maybe subtidal oysters are more productive, and that could be a function of, again, they're submerged by water and food and all that more often than intertidal reefs. So the intertidal ones, generally, for some reason, they're settling more aggregatively, so they're more crowded. And then also with the stress from being exposed to the sun and heat during low tide, that kind of slows down their growth, whereas the oysters subtidally are not only getting more food all the time, but they're not getting baked as much. And so that might help explain also why they're not settling in as dense aggregations in subtidal reefs versus intertidal reefs. You might expect that oysters that are submerged more are going to grow faster and get to larger sizes because they have more access to the phytoplankton in the water, and they have less stress because they're not getting baked for 6 hours during low tide. But a study from North Carolina actually showed that it kind of can come out as a wash, because down at the subtidal, you got all these things that settle on the bottom of boats, like sea squirts and barnacles and stuff, that settle more heavily on oysters that are always submerged by water compared to intertidal oysters that get baked. Intertidal oysters don't have to compete with those fouling organisms for food compared to the subtidal oysters that do. So an experiment in North Carolina actually showed that there was no, there's just sort of different costs and benefits associated with being baked by the sun versus being submerged by the water all the time, and that it kind of comes out as a wash in terms of the size and growth of the oyster.